Hello, and welcome to Lesson 11. Lesson 11 talks about religion and helping clients who may have a diversity of religious beliefs and thoughts and intents about spirituality, and especially from those clients may or may not believe exactly how we believe and may challenge our thoughts and processes about spirituality. We have a diversity of material to look at in this lesson. First off, we will be jumping into 4 TED videos. Videos that we start with a video about spirituality and how powerful individual spirituality can be. We look at a video that talks about religion in terms of is it a good thing or a bad thing. And that's the title of the video, but not really the contents of the video. The message goes much deeper than that. We have a video on atheism and what those individuals who do not believe there is a God might be able to learn from religious concepts in a respectful way. And a video on politics and religion as a median to a greater and more functioning society. Again, most of these videos are about 15 minutes long, but they're pretty important to take a look at. Then we have in-depth readings for this lesson, and we have many of those. We have a couple of articles on 4 things we can learn from some of the oldest religions in America. Then we have some extremely well thought out guidebooks. A guide for teachers about teachers' limitations and governmental limitations based on the Constitution of religion in public schools. But this material, while being focused on religion in public schools, is extremely appropriate and can be used in the human services and counseling setting. It's just a great guidebook that religious organizations across the belief spectrum contributed to, as well as non-believers at the same time. It's excellent. We have another guidebook that was published by the same group as the Teacher's Guide in terms of student religious practices and what rights do students have in practicing their religious preferences in this public school setting. Then we will shift to a different perspective and start talking about Christian privilege. If you remember, we've talked about white privilege and some of the criticisms of white privilege and if it encourages discrimination. There's a concept called Christian privilege, and especially white Christian male privilege, and ask the question, do individuals who may fit into this category intentionally or unintentionally discriminate against other groups that do not believe as that particular group believes? So we actually have 2 of those articles that may be challenging for some of us, but I encourage you to follow through and to process the material. Because just because we don't agree and we want to pretend like it doesn't exist, it's still out there. The topics, the thoughts, the theory, it still exists. And we have a responsibility to learn as much as we can about even the most challenging of topics. That does not mean that we have to agree, and it doesn't mean it questions what we believe. It just means that we're going to have to learn to get along with folks who don't believe like we do, because no one tends to believe like we do as individuals. Another really neat publication, The December Dilemma, is suggestions for school systems and public organizations in terms of how to deal with the attack on Christmas, in terms of the inappropriateness, so to speak, of calling the holiday season Christmas holidays for students. And is it better to call the period of time holidays or winter break, or the inferences of just naming certain activities in the school setting? We have an article about law and religious beliefs and why law and the legal process has to be separated from religion, and I believe that wholeheartedly. Otherwise, we lose the protection of freedom of religion, and we lose freedom to practice as we see fit. Atheism, we have an article on. Then we have another publication named Is Religion Old-Fashioned or Out of Date? Using statistical data and what society currently believes about religion. And why don't religious people know more about religion is the final reading. And we asked the population, what do people really know about their spiritual beliefs? We do have, let's see, a discussion board and a lesson 10 journal to process as well. And please let me know if you have questions. We have a lot of material this week, and it will be challenging for many of us. I encourage you to embrace the challenge. We will not grow as people or as students unless we look at hard issues, unless we take care of and believe in the educational and college process, that we have to take a risk every now and then. And taking risk doesn't mean we have to agree. It just means we have to acknowledge that and respect the beliefs of others. And this is one of those really challenging lessons for many folks. And I encourage you to talk with me about that and let me help you process that. Because I've been faced with many challenging topics and topics of study at the university level and in my professional practice as a clinician in private practice in human services supervision and in the school setting as well as a professor. And just because it was hard and the topic was something I didn't agree with did not give me permission to step back and say, well, I can't deal with it. We have to develop the skills to deal with issues that challenge us. And that's what makes us, or begins to make us, effective practitioners. Take care.